You have lived too many days as if defeat were an option, as if failure were a possibility, as if the outcome of your life depended on the kindness of chance. But hear me now. Chance is nothing. Law is everything, and the man who acts as if he cannot lose bends that law to his service. You have been trained to wait for proof before you believe, to wait for conditions before you act, to wait for assurance before you commit. And that is why your victories have been few. Life does not give its treasures to the man who waits. It gives them to the man who moves forward with the bearing of one who has already claimed them. When I say act as if you cannot lose, I do not speak of arrogance or blind gamble. I speak of a decision so fixed that no setback can touch it. A faith so steady that even apparent failure becomes a servant of your victory. A posture so certain that the world rearranges itself to match it. Look at Henry Ford when the banks doubted him. He did not walk as a man asking permission. He walked as a man collecting what was already his. Look at Edison in the face of thousands of failed experiments. He did not bow. He continued as if the answer was already secured. Look at Andrew Carnegie, negotiating from a position of command before the ink was dry, because in his mind, the deal was already done. The man who acts as if he cannot lose does not waste thought on retreat. He does not entertain the what if of failure. He carries himself, speaks, and works as if the outcome were certain, because in his mind it already is. And here is the truth the timid never learn. Life will test the man who acts with certainty, but it will also obey him. If you will listen with the intent to obey, I will show you how to move through this world as one who cannot be defeated until even the appearance of loss is turned into your advantage. You stand at the edge of your own fortune, yet your steps are uncertain. You wait for signs, for approval, for the voice of the world to tell you it is safe to move. I tell you now, safety is an illusion. There is no permission, no signal, no moment more perfect than the one before you. The man who acts with certainty bends the world to fit his decision as the general bends his army to his command. Fear of failure is the shadow that has followed you, not because failure is certain, but because indecision invites it. In Think and Grow Rich, I named it for what it is, a ghost. A ghost has no power except what the frightened man gives it. When the mind is definite, the ghost cannot enter. Fear is not conquered by time nor by study. It is banished in the instant of decision. Acting as if you cannot lose is not recklessness. It is the marriage of a definite chief aim with unshakable faith. It is the posture of the man who has examined his aim, counted the cost, fixed his course, and chosen never to retreat. This is the man the world cannot withstand, because he cannot be made to doubt himself. Look to Henry Ford when he began producing the Model T. The market doubted him. The bankers saw risk. The so-called experts predicted ruin. But Ford's mind was fixed. He spoke of the car not as an experiment, but as a revolution already underway. He built his factories, trained his men, and moved forward as though the future were already his property. The world caught up because he refused to slow down. This law is simple. When your purpose is definite and your belief is complete, your mind will command your body to act without hesitation, and the world will take shape to match that action. Circumstance is clay in the hands of the decisive man, but in the hands of the hesitant, circumstance is a prison. Most men lose before they begin, because they wait for certainty to arrive from without. They study conditions, watch competitors, and measure the weather of opinion, only to find the opportunity has passed. The man who wins is the one who moves forward when others are still deciding. If you would live by this law, you must understand its demands. You must act as if the outcome is already certain. You must speak only in the language of completion, not of possibility. You must walk into every room, every negotiation, every task as if it were already settled in your favor. You will say, "But what if I fail?" I answer, you will not fail. You will encounter adjustments, delays, and detours, but each will serve you if you treat it as part of the plan. The man who has decided that he cannot lose treats every obstacle as a stepping stone. He does not measure himself by single days or single trials. He measures himself by the completion of his chief aim. This is the promise of the law I now lay before you. If you will unite definiteness of purpose with unwavering faith, if you will act, speak, and think as if the end is already secured, you will find the world arranging itself to obey you. And you will no longer ask, will it work out? You will say, it is working out. In the minutes ahead, I will give you the exact process by which you may train your mind to this certainty. I will show you how to fix your aim, form the image of inevitable victory, protect it from doubt, and move in the posture of one who has already won. But hear this first. No amount of instruction will help the man who refuses to act. Therefore, I end this part with your first command. Stop waiting for signs. Stop looking to the world for permission. Begin to speak of your aim as if it were complete. Begin to move toward it as if it could not be denied. From this hour, let your steps be firm, your voice steady, and your mind immune to retreat. The world will obey the man who refuses to question his own victory. All victory begins in the mind. No building rises before its plan. No bridge stands before its design. No fortune is gathered before its image is fixed in the mind of the man who claims it. The timid man believes the end is determined by what he sees. The bold man believes what he sees is determined by the end he has already chosen. To act as if you cannot lose, you must first see with absolute clarity what it means to have already won. This picture must not be a sketch drawn in idle thought. It must be a blueprint engraved upon your mind, revisited morning and night, until it becomes more familiar than your present surroundings. In Think and Grow Rich, I gave you 6 steps to transform desire into riches. Here they are again, not as suggestion, but as the discipline by which the mental picture of victory becomes law within you. These steps are the foundation of acting with certainty, for the mind cannot act boldly toward an end it does not yet know in detail. First, fix in your mind the exact result you desire. Do not permit it to be vague. If it is wealth, name the exact sum. If it is a position, write the title and its duties. If it is a condition in your health or circumstances, describe it so plainly that your mind cannot mistake it for another. Second, determine exactly what you will give in return for this result. You will receive nothing without first giving something of equal or greater value. State clearly the service, the skill, the hours, the attention you will devote. The man who would receive without offering equal return is not a builder but a beggar. Third, fix a definite date by which you will obtain this aim. A goal without a date is a seed left in the sack. The mind moves with urgency only when the clock is set. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you think you are ready or not. Action clarifies the plan, and only through action will the plan reveal its true form. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the result you desire, the time limit, what you will give in return, and the plan by which you will achieve it. This is your victory statement. Sixth, read your written statement aloud twice daily, once in the morning upon rising, and once at night before sleep. As you read, see and feel yourself already in possession of the aim. Let your voice carry conviction. Let your mind form the picture. Let your heart feel the possession of it. This picture you form must be as real to you as the chair upon which you sit. It must have weight, color, detail, sound. The more senses you involve, the more real it becomes to your subconscious, and the more your subconscious will command your body to act in harmony with it. Consider Thomas Edison, who held in his mind the image of the electric light burning steadily in homes, streets, and factories. Long before the filament existed that could make it possible, he saw it as done. This picture was not disturbed by the thousands of experiments that failed. Those failures were only steps already included in the path to the picture he carried. Think of Andrew Carnegie, who saw in his mind an empire of steel when others saw only furnaces and risk. His mental picture was so fixed that every choice, every meeting, every investment aligned to bring it into visible form. The men around him caught his certainty because he carried the image as if it were already a matter of history. You must do the same. Begin at once to write your victory statement. State the aim clearly, the date, the service you will give, and the outline of your plan. Post it where your eyes cannot avoid it upon waking and before sleep. Speak it aloud. Imagine yourself there, in the office you will occupy, with the income you will receive, in the home you will own, with the authority you will command. Do not concern yourself with how far this picture seems from your present reality. The man who waits to believe until he sees will never see anything worth believing. The man who sees until he believes will find that the world begins to rearrange itself to match his vision. The subconscious mind is the silent builder of your fate. It takes orders only from repetition and emotion. If you repeat the image of victory, joined with the emotion of already possessing it, the subconscious will accept it as fact and set every faculty, every nerve, and every habit to work toward making it visible. If you allow doubt, fear, or contradictory images to mingle with your vision, the subconscious will be confused and the body will act without conviction. Therefore, guard your mental picture as you would guard a treasure. Speak only words that agree with it. Think only thoughts that strengthen it. Perhaps you have tried before to hold a vision and failed. If so, it is because you neglected repetition, or you repeated the picture without the emotion of belief. Words without feeling are as lifeless as a cart without a horse. You must feel the reality of the picture as you speak it. This practice will at first feel forced, but habit will make it natural. And when it is natural, you will no longer be trying to believe. You will believe. And that belief will pour itself into your speech, your decisions, your movements. Others will sense it and be influenced by it, often without knowing why. Affirm now, aloud, I see my victory as complete. My mind holds no image of defeat. My every act moves in harmony with the end I have claimed. Let these words live on your tongue until they become the law of your nature. When you have built the mental picture of certain victory and fixed it in the subconscious by repetition and emotion, you will have taken the most vital step toward acting as if you cannot lose. For the man who sees the end as done will walk the road to meet it with the poise of one who is returning home. Faith is the armor of the mind. It is the shield that turns aside every arrow of doubt, every whisper of fear, every appearance of defeat. Without faith, the most perfect plan will falter at the first obstacle. With faith, even a plan that begins in weakness will gather strength until it cannot be resisted. But understand me, faith is not a gift bestowed on a lucky few. It is not a matter of chance, nor of birth, nor of temperament. Faith is a state of mind, deliberately created, deliberately maintained, and deliberately strengthened. And the tool by which it is built is autosuggestion, the repeated statement of that which you desire until the subconscious accepts it as truth. In Think and Grow Rich and Law of Success, I gave the self-confidence formula. This is the working instrument for creating unshakable faith. It is not to be read casually, but with the full force of your voice and belief twice daily until the tone of your speech, the set of your shoulders, and the direction of your actions all match the certainty of the words. The formula is this. First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite chief aim. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, aggressive, and continuous action toward its attainment. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the person I intend to become, creating a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion that any desire I persistently hold in my mind will eventually find some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I realize no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. This is not poetry. It is a discipline. If you will speak it morning and night with the full force of your imagination and emotion, it will reshape the very structure of your belief. Look at Abraham Lincoln in the darkest hours of the Civil War. Armies defeated, cities burned, voices in his own government urging surrender. Yet he carried himself as though the Union's victory were inevitable. He spoke in public as if the outcome were assured. His faith was not in luck, but in the justice of his cause, the strength of his plan, and the endurance of his people. That faith became the backbone of the nation until victory was won. Consider Charles M. Schwab, who led U.S. Steel during times of uncertainty. Where others saw danger, he spoke of expansion. Where others hesitated, he pushed forward. His belief in growth was so strong that it became contagious, rallying investors, workers, and markets to his side. That is the effect of faith. It multiplies itself in others. You must now adopt this law. Never permit words of doubt to pass your lips. Never speak of your aim as possible, or, if it works out, speak always as if it were done. The tongue is the servant of the mind. If you let it speak uncertainty, it will feed that uncertainty back into your thought until it takes root. The man of faith is not shaken by temporary defeat. He regards every setback as a necessary step in the unfolding of the plan. To the man of faith, delay is only preparation, and difficulty is only refinement. This is why he cannot lose, because he refuses to interpret any event as loss. From this day, replace every phrase of weakness with a phrase of strength. Instead of, I hope to, say, I will. Instead of, if this works, say, this is working. Instead of, I will try, say, I am doing. The change may feel strange at first, but soon it will feel as natural as breath and as necessary. Affirm now, my faith governs my action. My words confirm my victory. I act as one who cannot fail. Speak it aloud. Repeat it until you feel its truth. For when you believe you cannot fail, you will act in ways that make failure impossible. Faith is the master key. With it, you open every door. Without it, even open doors will appear shut. Build your faith, guard your faith, and let your faith be the shield that turns every defeat into a stepping stone toward the inevitable victory you have already claimed in your mind. There is a moment in the life of every man when he must decide, not wish, not consider, not plan, but decide. In that moment, he crosses the line between drift and destiny. Decision is the act by which the will seizes its aim and refuses to release it. The man who decides completely will never again be the same, for the decision becomes the law by which he governs himself. To act as if you cannot lose, you must first decide that you will not lose. This is not a matter of public announcement. It is a private covenant between your will and your purpose. It is the moment you burn the bridges to retreat. The moment you close the door to doubt, the moment you silence the voice that says, what if? From that moment, your only direction is forward. History gives us an unforgettable example in Hernán Cortés. In 1519, upon reaching the shores of the New World, he ordered his ships burned. His men understood instantly. There was no going back, victory or death, but not retreat. The destruction of those ships was more than a tactical choice. It was a decision made visible. When all roads lead forward, the will finds a way. In Think and Grow Rich, I warned of the cost of indecision. The tale of 3 feet from gold is not a fable. It is the truth of countless men.